The highly anticipated meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska concluded without a concrete agreement to end the war in Ukraine. Despite Trump's earlier threats of severe consequences if Russia refused a ceasefire, the summit ended with handshakes and vague promises, leaving Ukraine, Europe, and the world questioning what, if anything, was achieved. Here are some takeaways from the summit. First, no ceasefire but progress claimed. Trump had hoped to announce a ceasefire by the end of the summit, but instead stated that while many points were agreed upon, a final deal remained elusive. Putin, speaking first at the press conference, reiterated his stance that any lasting peace must address the root causes of the conflict, a likely reference to Russia's territorial demands. Second, Putin dominated the narrative, no peace deal. One of the most striking aspects of the summit was how Putin controlled the optics. He spoke first and at length during the press conference, while Trump appeared unusually subdued. The Russian president received a red carpet welcome, with Trump even applauding as he approached, a visual that many critics saw as overly deferential. No questions were allowed from journalists, ensuring Putin's messaging went unchallenged. Third, Ukraine's frustration and fear. From Kiev's perspective, the summit was a disappointment. Ukrainians reacted with disgust at the warm reception given to Putin, contrasting it with President Zelensky's tense Oval Office meeting with Trump earlier this year. There are concerns that Trump may pressure Ukraine into accepting unfavorable terms, such as recognizing Russian-occupied territories. Trump's statement that it's now up to Zelensky to make a deal suggests Ukraine could be blamed if negotiations fail. Fourth, Putin's strategic victory. For Putin, the summit was a clear win, legitimacy boost. By meeting on U.S. soil, Putin broke Russia's diplomatic isolation, leverage over Trump. The U.S. president's reluctance to impose new sanctions or take a hard line gives Moscow more room to maneuver. Future cooperation. Putin hinted at potential U.S.-Russia deals in energy, trade, and technology, signaling a possible thaw in relations. What's next? Ukraine braces for pressure. Zelensky now faces the difficult task of negotiating with Putin, possibly under U.S. pressure to concede land. Trump's stance. Unclear. Will he push for more sanctions if talks collapse, or will he continue to blame Ukraine? Western allies wary. European leaders are skeptical of Trump's approach, fearing a U.S.-Russia détente that sidelines Ukraine's interests. So it can be concluded, while Trump framed the summit as productive, the lack of concrete outcomes and Putin's dominant performance suggest Russia gained far more than the U.S. or Ukraine. With no ceasefire in place and Trump deferring responsibility to Kiev, the war's future remains uncertain, but Putin's position has never looked stronger. For Ukraine, the fear now is that behind closed doors, Trump may have already made concessions that could shape the next phase of this devastating conflict. What do you think? Was this summit a diplomatic breakthrough or a strategic misstep by the U.S.? Share your thoughts in the comments.